Here's the thing, Brooklyn, like, I'm a high value man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that, you know, a woman's place is to be a little bit, you know, she does what I need her to do in a relationship, and I need to lead. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a woman's place. And so, like, as a high value man, I need to understand, and women need to understand where I'm coming from in terms of what I need and what they need to bring to the table in terms of this relationship. You feel me? No?
You're the problem.
Oh, shit.
You're the problem.
Am I?
Yep. We're going to have to talk about this because you're the problem.
Is this bad?
This is worse than bad. You're the problem.
Shit, let's talk about it.
What is this?
That's all the shit.
We're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's start the show.
What's up, y'all? This is O'Neal from Speak the Proof.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brooklyn, Inky B, whatever. Yeah. We can't decide what my name is.
We're going to figure it out one of these days.
Make sure y'all follow me and y'all can let me know what y'all think my name should be.
At Inky B, at O'Neal, Real with O'Neal. I think I didn't change it. I need to make sure that all my shit is like unison because I think my Twitter is different.
What is your Twitter?
I think it's like Too Real. I don't know.
Too Real? Too Real. Oh my gosh, that's aggressive.
I think my TikTok's
that's too aggressive. You're going to have to tone it down. Like, whoa.
But I want to talk about, man.
We need to talk about what you just said.
You know where I get that from? And I know y'all see it on TikTok. Kevin Scamuels, but not even him. I've been seeing a bunch of like podcasts, alpha male, and a lot of them are actually hosted. Well, they're hosted by black males. And so I kind of want to talk about that just because we're seeing more media that's coming out about, like, I'll be honest with you, it's toxic masculinity. I don't care what you got to say about it. This is toxic masculinity that is kind of ingrained specifically within black culture. Now, don't get me wrong, patriarchy is real.
Right.
Patriarchy exists in almost every, we already talked about it off of camera, it exists in every major nation. But I want to talk about specifically misogynoir. Is that what it's called?
So specifically what we're talking about
What is that?
I say misogynoir, but I'm from the South and we say whatever the fuck we want. But misogynoir, this is a topic that I chose.
You did.
And I really wanted to see
Why'd you choose
how deep you would go with this, because a lot of men don't know that they're the problem.
One more time.
A lot of men don't know that they're the problem. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to, honestly, he got more time than I wanted him to have because I was trying to jump him. And I was trying to let him know about himself.
You tried it.
But because O'Neal, he's one of those people who, like, he tries to get ahead of the problem and be proactive. Right. So, and if he knows that he's the problem, he tries to correct it. First. So before he had a chance to correct it, I was trying to catch him.
Yeah, she told me the topic like literally 2 days ago, which I'm okay with that because I got a lot of shit to talk about this.
Yeah. You know, so let's give him the definition. So
what's the definition?
Let's give him the definition. It's the dislike of, the contempt for, or the ingrained prejudice against black women. So
this is specifically misogyny against black women perpetuated
by black men.
Black men. So, like, why is that important? Just because, and like, I know you have something to say from your perspective, and that's really what I want to listen to and kind of fall back, because I want to hear from a black woman, you know, what you've seen in terms of prejudice, you know, how black men act with you, and how, you know, even other men within other races and things like that and other ethnicities, how culture kind of really affects that. But specifically black men, what have you seen on your perspective about misogyny within black culture, specifically perpetuated basically by black men?
I think that the standard for black women has been set. The whole historic standard has been set by white men. And
what do you mean?
The way that white men have historically treated black women is currently still affecting black women. Okay. So what we've seen over history is when men are in position of power, black men, they're rewarded for the way that they treat black women, in the ways that they're treating them the same way that a white man would. Mm-hmm. So, and in our time, it's a lot more passive, but in the past, it's been a lot more aggressive, like tremendously more aggressive. Right, and I was telling you this off camera, like, black women are currently still property. They're still property.
Is it more of a possessive culture in terms of, like, you know,
We don't even have to try to be property, but we are indebted to our family. If you, like, Black women are the highest earners in America right now, and they're still the most disenfranchised because they give their money to their family.
Fun
and
fact.
Black men aren't doing that. Black men aren't going back and saving their families in the same way that Black women are.
I will say this.
And I'm not saying all of them aren't. I'm just saying there's a larger percentage of Black women who go get educated and then turn around, start businesses for the purpose of hiring their cousin and hiring their sister and getting their family out of debt. And this has become the responsibility of Black women. And while they're shouldering that responsibility, Black men are also disenfranchising them because Black men, in my opinion, a lot of them want to be white men. Right. The standard of manliness is being positioned against white men. And I don't blame you, because that's the only standard you've had to look at in your culture. In our culture, the only standard you've had is the way white men treated Black women. So inherently, you started treating Black women the same way. And now we're in a position where now Black women are out earning Black men. They're smarter than Black men. They're repositioning government well beyond Black men,
So essentially, are you stating that the need to kind of regain this masculinity within Black culture, within Black men, is actually a byproduct of the emasculation of Black men from white supremacy, and that they're trying to regain this
has nothing to do with the emasculation of Black men. No, this has nothing to do with y'all. It has nothing to do with y'all whatsoever. It has to do with how you treat people.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with you. And I'm not negating that there's a reason. Well,
I wasn't giving
cause.
Justification.
Yeah, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. But that's misogyny in general. Right. It's the patriarchy in general that says that women are supposed to take care of men and we're supposed to submit to men, and it's okay that certain things happen to women because there's a reason. It doesn't matter that things happen to women too. It doesn't matter. What matters is that things happen to men and that's what made us this way. No, that's not a reason. That's an excuse.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, women are positioned in our culture the way they are because it's a success for Kamala Harris to be the first Black woman, the first Indian woman, not because she's the first Black woman. It's because she was property and still is property.
But what do you mean by property? What do you mean
when
by
she
that?
Gets married, her last name becomes her husband's last name. When she positions herself in government, she has to do it as a woman who can be with a man who can allow her to be as strong as she is. Right. She has to. And I've seen time and time again where celebrities and politicians are introduced and their wives aren't or whatever. They make sure they say first gentleman every single chance they get. And I get it. It's cool. They're trying to establish titles. All of that's great. But a lot of women get forgotten in the story, in the path to telling Black men's stories.
Well, then what's the difference between... And what have you seen between regular misogyny, just misogyny in general, and misogynoir, where it's misogyny within black men to Black women? What do you see the differences between those two? Like, why do we have to make a new term
I'm gonna be honest with you,
specifically designed for Black men?
Well, the woman who, and we can get into this when we talk about Black thought, but the woman who actually came up with this term, she's both gay and Black. So she was
Moya Bailey, by the way. Shouts out, bro.
Yeah. But she was actually referring to an intersectionality that happens with Black women, where it's more than the fact that you're a woman. It's also the fact that you're a Black woman or a gay Black woman. We talk about
intersectionality. Is that what we talk about? Yeah.
But I honestly think that a lot of the fact that there's a difference is because, men are inflicted with misogyny the same way women are.
They're affected. Yeah. And I want to get into that. I really want to get into how patriarchy
because there's a standard. In the same way that women are afflicted with feminists. Yeah. Like, if you don't do this, this, and this, then you're not feminist enough. If you don't do this, this, and this, then, you're getting married. You don't shave your armpits.
Right.
All these surface things that constitute a movement that isn't really moving when you
would
make
that
it
not
about
be the
those
argument
things.
for they say like the nuclear family unit, specifically in the Black culture, and I can hear y'all talking in the comments right now, talking about just the Black family unit has been destroyed, has been targeted, specifically men, and I know that we're not denying that, but at the same time, what effects that do black men have on black women in terms of, you know, wanting to have this dominance within the family unit, but not even, and here's the thing, I don't want to say that. It's difficult because we understand what the history of terms of mass incarceration, which is the drug abuse, and of course, you know, systemic racism has targeted down black males. That's a fact. But at the same time, you know, now with these black males coming back, and then, you know, and this is why I say the emasculation and why black men feel as if they need to overextend their masculinity just because they believe that they're losing something.
But it's more, and I understand that, and we're sympathetic to that.
Right.
But it's also the fact that you're making it our responsibility to heal your pain.
Right. And
because black women always have to shoulder the weight of their man's pain. Like, I gotta hold you down while you're in prison. Man, I dare one of y'all's girls to go to prison. Y'all ain't holding her nothing. Y'all ain't gonna throw her a honey bun. Like, nah. Yeah. And you might not take care of y'all's kids. Like,
right. Well, so this is a fact, though. This is a fact. Before we say this, because there is a myth. The Moynihan, it's like the Moynihan article, the Moynihan case, whatever it is.
Yeah, he loves a case study.
I do love a case study because there's a lot of information comes out of it. But it's back in the day, and it was this white man that was pretty much did a case study on on the black family unit, talking about black males don't do this and this for the family. But here's the thing. That what we've seen and what state articles and a lot of statistics has shown is that black men actually, comparably to other demographics, actually will see their kids or actually will try to provide for their children a little bit more when it comes to wedlock children. And so there's that, but at the same time, you're still seeing high amounts of you know, one parent households within the black community. And I believe that that is a part and a byproduct of misogyny, specifically what we're talking about right now, misogynoir. You know
I think that that's because black men are inflicted with misogyny. I think that's because that's like
they are
in the Mexican culture, and I'm not specifically talking about one or another. I'm just saying specifically in the Mexican culture, in the Asian culture, they live with multiple generations. That's like them deciding to kick out their grandma because it don't make sense no more. Like that, it just doesn't work like that. Their family unit says that they live with multiple generations, so they don't question it. Their great grandma's gonna live in their house until she dies because that's what great grandmas do. Right. Where in our culture, your standard of a family and the black family unit is still being based on what white people told you it was. Right. Your standard is based on a mom and a dad and two kids, maybe a boy and a girl and maybe a dog. Right. And
the that's American
perfect
dream, the
to
house,
you.
the dog and the
And I understand that because and look, and I'm not discrediting anybody when I say this, black, white, or indifferent. I understand that because as black people, we deserve that. We fought for that. We earned it. We inherited that right. We inherited the right to look at our kids and see the American dream in them. Yeah. But we also need to take responsibility for the fact that we also inherited this system of this is how families work. Yeah. If you're in something and you're trying to force it to work, it don't work.
Right. It ain't working for white folk.
And the thing is like when you take all of our men and you put them in prison and like I was explaining to you the other day, one of my ex-boyfriends, he got paid in jail to pick potatoes for Walmart. That was his job.
If inmates are being paid below minimum wage, they're slaves.
Period.
They're slaves. Period.
If you're being forced to do, if you don't have a choice but to do something, you're a slave. Yeah. And in America, that's still a thing. It's still real. It's still reality. And because that's still reality, it has crumbled the infrastructure of the black family. It's never had a stable ground to even build on. And it's not that black women don't want to submit to black men, but submission isn't... It's not a request. It's something that someone wants to do. You can't make someone submit. You gotta earn that submission. It's not, I don't even think it's about earning it because I know plenty of dumb people, and I'm gonna call them people, not the B word, but females who submit to people who don't, in my opinion, earn that submission. But that's their business. But what I do know is if someone wants to do something, they're gonna do it. Yeah. And black men are used to submitting to women. They're used to it. Most of them were raised by their mothers and their grandmas. They're used to doing it. And if society didn't tell them that they were fucked up for doing that, a lot more of them would feel safer and more comfortable coming to black women and letting us comfort y'all, because that's what the fuck we do anyway.
Yes. Yeah,
you know what
agree.
I mean?
I agree.
Like, what you want is to lay your head on my lap and for me to make you feel better. Right. So don't throw a fit beforehand. That's like when kids cry because they're sleepy. Just go to sleep.
Right.
Like, let's skip all the middle steps.
I just never understood, you know what I mean? Like, and I want to talk about a lot of these podcasts, these alpha male podcasts that, like I said, is hosted by black men. Like, what are y'all seeking out of this conversation? You know what I mean?
I think it's about...
What exactly are you trying to get out of? Like, I understand that you have this fantasy that, you know, men need to be... like, and don't get me wrong. If you feel like, you know, it's to each their own. Mm-hmm. If you feel as if, you know, the man should be the head of the relationship, go ahead.
There's plenty of women out here who feel that way as well.
Basically, don't expect that from every woman.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't, because every woman is different.
Don't defame the ones who don't just submit to that lifestyle.
Don't demonize them.
Exactly, because there's plenty of women who do. There's plenty of women who feel like that's a man, and whether he's mine or not, I should act a certain way with him. So you shouldn't put yourself in a position. Just don't be with people who you're not, who don't get down like that. And look, I don't know what's up with Mr. Kevin Samuels, but
that nigga is
I don't want to say
corny,
podcast.
bro.
I want to say his name specifically. And I don't know if you saw his interview with Nicki Minaj, but he hit Nicki Minaj with a completely different energy, and it's because he know he can't fuck with her. So if you base all of your ideology on the fact that you're an alpha male, how is it that when you're approached with the alpha female, judging by your own
standards
merit,
type shit?
Because what the fuck is an alpha female?
It doesn't exist.
What the fuck is an alpha
males
male?
And alpha females don't exist. It's coming from a study from wolves that didn't make any sense because that wasn't true, y'all.
It wasn't true.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
It's not real.
If you can find some kind of or some kind of scientific document from the last 10 years that proves that it's real, then we can have a conversation. Are you trying to get drunk? He's trying to get drunk,
I'm trying to get another shot. I feel what you're saying, though. No,
but you know what I mean? If you can't bet, and that's why we just said this earlier. Like, I like living in the future. I like that we have information.
She's like, I like electricity.
I do. I like turning on electricity. I like TV. I love TV. Like, I love YouTube. Like, same. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't live in the past. And part of living in the future is, if you have a question, you can look it up. So if something sounds questionable, just Google it.
Right.
If you can't find any information about it from the last 5 years, 10 years, it's probably not true.
No, facts. And actually, I want to get into this next piece because I want to talk about, you know, those who believe that black women aren't specifically, this is an attack. Misogyny is an attack. Anytime that somebody is oppressed, whether it be patriarchy, racism, religious prejudice, whatever it may be, that's an attack on a minority group. And it's not even, women aren't even a minority group, which is crazy. So like, I want to state this stat real quick, y'all, because this is some things that I was doing research on, which blew my fucking mind.
Right.
So this first one is from a study by the Institute for Women's Policy Research. Mm-hmm. Black women face a particularly high risk of being killed at the hands of a man. A 2015 Violence Policy Center study finds that black women were 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than their white counterparts. More than 9 in 10 black female victims knew their killers. Excuse me.
Look at my shock face.
It's not there.
No, I know women who have been killed by their baby daddies but
let
whatever.
me get into this next one. Because this one's crazy. 8 out of 10, 80.6% of black mothers are breadwinners who are either the sole earner or earn at least 40% of household income. That's insane. And this is why
y'all the alpha males. What you talking about?
But
y'all the providers.
Look at history, y'all. Look at what's going on from and I want you to look at basically the deterioration of the black nuclear family came from started really in the 1970s. 1970s on to 1980s with Reagan. The increase of police budgets in the 90s with mass incarceration and drug.
Before that?
Before that, well, that's the thing. That's why that's why they try to dismantle the black family unit, because just think about what happened before the 70s. It was the 60s. It's the Civil Rights Act of 64, 65, and then 67. You have all these units that comes with these, even you had the paramilitary groups, black paramilitary groups, you had these religious groups that were all headed by black males, but they were also by the backbone of black women like Rosa Parks and all them. And so they needed to disrupt the family unit, the black family unit, to make sure there was no power in these communities.
The thing is that's
they targeted
still
down the black male.
misunderstanding. That's still misunderstanding our community, because it wasn't about a family unit. It's never been about a family unit. We as black people have always been very community based. And
we were more so in the past, I would say that. We were more so in the past.
More so what?
More community oriented.
I think that you're discrediting a lot of black people by saying that, because I think that I think that our communities are just getting more niched. So it's easier to be a part of your community, and we're learning and we're evolving.
I'm not saying that we were less community oriented because it was our choosing. Now, we just have to understand the history behind what has gone on in this country. And also, too, we also have to be accountable. And men need to be accountable. Black men need to be accountable of what we've done to our communities. And like we talked about, what we've done to our women. You know what I mean? Like we complain about black women. We have these stereotypes of black women need to be strong, and da. Why do black women need to be particularly stronger than any other race?
I just keep thinking
that doesn't make any sense.
Strong.
What does that even mean?
Frederick Douglass's mother, when he was taken away from his mother, she was in a completely different plantation across the whole fucking state, and would go every week to see her son. What do you mean strong black women? This ain't new. Like, this isn't a new thing.
But why is that a stereotype? Why do black women have to be particularly stronger than any other, their white counterparts or their Hispanic counterparts?
Do you know what
it
would do?
Why?
Do you know what it would do to the whole system if black men supported black women in the way that black women supported black men? Do you know what it would do to the whole system? And I don't even mean do for us what we do for you. That's not what I mean. I'm not asking y'all to show up in any way that because we also, in all of our nurturing, and I mean this very generally, but in all the nurturing that black women are, we understand what y'all been through. We understand that y'all been tried and tested. And what's crazier is black women have a different trauma because we witnessed a lot of the stuff that happened to y'all as a punishment for us. Watching y'all in pain was a punishment for us in most situations. So we get it. We understand. We're empathetic. We get it. And we're not asking for you to change anything about you, separate from the fact that you don't give credit where credit is due. You don't say that we stand on y'all's back for support. And every time we fall, a black woman picks us up. Every time I can't drive past the police pulling somebody over and see a black man without stopping, because I know that it's my job to protect him.
Right.
And that's as a person who's not even been, I haven't been with a man in I don't know how many years, but I know that it's my duty to protect black men. Because no one else will. But whose duty is it to protect black women?
Black men.
No. And if that's y'all's job, then y'all suck at it.
No, we're not good at it. We need to be better at it.
We need to be better at it. Propping up 2 or 3 figures as the example for what all black men are and what all families are is crazy. Black men have been in a cycle of being used as a tool in America, and black women have been property of America while it's raising and building America.
I want you to expand on what you mean by black men are wanting to be black or wanting to be white men in terms of having that power structure over their women. Because I believe that black men, again, this is why I always believe, I think black men are trying to play catch up with other male ethnicities within the United States.
It's because black men are not African, they're not Indian, they're not Jamaican. There's no cultural significance to really tie them to anything that says, now I am a man, now I have transitioned, now I am doing something. And so they grasp onto the quickest thing and the easiest thing that's around them, and that's white culture. That's what they're immersed in, that's what they're raised in. So it's easy to understand that. Like, it's not a fault, it's just a fact.
Right.
Like, it's the quickest thing that you can gravitate toward.
Do you think that black males want to treat black women how white males treat white women generally? This is just generalization.
No, I think that black males treat black females the way white males treat black females.
White males treat black females?
I think that black men treat black females the way that white men treat black females. They don't treat us the way that like for instance, in the 50s, if a white woman was touched in the 50s, then the husband's job was to take care of that, whether it was true or not.
Right.
If that were to happen to a black man, to a black woman, it's to be quiet. Be quiet, because we don't need those problems. We don't need that situation. And that's the same thing now. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same thing now. It's black women have to bite the bullet because black men don't need those problems. They have enough issues. Black women are enough of a problem. Us being loud is a problem. Us being quiet is a problem. Us being funny is a problem. Us speaking well is a problem. Us not speaking well is a problem. Us doing our hair is a problem. Us not doing our hair is a problem. There's so many problems with the black woman that if we can not be a problem, a lot of times we try to not be. So
it's like almost as black women need to be the bigger person almost in these,
all the
these
time.
situations.
All the time.
Yeah.
But we can kind of get into more of that with more conversation. We have a lot more to go on to get into with Speak the Proof, and we really want to talk about intersectionality and how these things affect society now.
This is a big conversation, man. Just because I'm seeing an increase of so many black males that are not getting it. They're not understanding that there needs to be a symbiotic relationship between, not just black women in particular, but just women in general. But if we're talking about black women, there is a disconnect, in my own opinion, with black men and black women that's getting better. But at the same time, that conversation needs to be had. It's so adversarial. Why do we always talk about, like, this is what black women want? This is what black women need. But as a man, blah, blah, just hear the way that you're talking to yourself and talking to your audience. You're saying that as if you understand what black women need without talking with black women. You're thinking that you need to possess something from black women. They need to bring something to the fucking table. What are you talking about? What do you mean bring something to the table? Yeah. You had to look at black women. Listen, y'all. You look at people as people. At the end of the day, you look at people as people. But here's the thing with Misogynoir, black men have looked at black women as something to possess, and they're not.
I heard a quote that said this.
You don't own anybody. You can't possess anybody. And if you think you do, then you do not understand this relationship and how our community is struggling because of these age-old patriarchal understandings of culture and relationship.
No, I think that what it comes down to is I heard a quote one time that said, reparations can feel like oppression to the privileged.
Yeah, that's a good ass quote.
If you're privileged in a situation and it takes you losing things to level the playing field, then it can feel like oppression. But just because it feels that way doesn't mean that that's what it is. And I think that a lot of men just have to come to terms with the fact that, one, the system that someone else uses might not be the system that works for you and for the people who you choose to be in a relationship with. And two, you have a responsibility for the space and energy that you possess and take up on this earth. Yeah. And if you decide to use that energy to inflict the same pain on your wife and your girlfriend and your sister and your daughter that you watched other people inflict on your mom and your aunt and your grandma, then you're part of the problem. And if you are so afraid of being the problem that you become the problem because you won't address the fact that you are in fact the problem, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to get anywhere. You have a responsibility to yourself and to the people around you to be responsible for the energy you take up. And we as Black women are not saying that we don't understand that you've been through things. We get it.
I mean,
especially if you've been to, but the thing is our stuff is systematic and we inherited it. Y'all stuff is a trauma because it's traumatic to your body, to your spirit, to your mind immediately.
Black men were targeted. They were specifically targeted.
I don't think the Black women weren't targeted. I just think that it's ingrained in our system, and everybody fell into this system of suppressing Black women, so it was easier. Right. And as long as you kept Black men out of it to where they didn't protect Black women, as long as you can keep Black men not protecting Black women, then the system keeps going. At the end of the day. At the end of the day, if a Mexican woman is attacked or whatever, Asian, we see this specifically with the Asian community where those attacks have been happening, and there you see the Asian Lives Matter movement and the Stop the Hate movements and all these things because they're protecting each other. And I'm not saying that all Black people don't protect each other. I'm saying specifically in a family unit. Yeah. And protection is about more than just being a big ass body. It's about nurturing people. It's about supporting people. It's about comforting them. It's about understanding them. It's about having compassion. Compassion is something that Black men ask for all the time, but never give. Compassion is a big thing, like compassion for the good, for the bad, for the ugly. Have compassion for everything. Have grace. Yeah. And those things are missing in our family unit. That's why those systems that we're trying to make work from other cultures and from other people don't work for us. That's not how our lives are positioned. Right.
So what do you think why is there this growing trend of this high value man? Like what is that? What in your opinion does that mean to you?
I just think that it's survival of the fittest. It's right now men understanding that I need to work on myself. Something isn't right and I need to work on myself. And it's Kevin Samuels out here exploiting that shit.
Right. So you're saying that basically he's veiling your insecurities by
if you were a confident man and if you were smart and if you were out here collecting information on your own, you damn sure wouldn't be calling Kevin Samuels to get his opinion and to have this grown man rate your penis. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah, you haven't seen those videos where he be like, yo, your penis is like a 6. Your dick is like a 6. Like, bro, yes, he be going off. He be rating men, sex game, women, their weight, all kinds of stuff. That's why I said he didn't approach Nicki Minaj with that same energy. And Nicki said that she would rate herself like a 6.
Kevin Samuels is rating dick pics?
Yeah, not pics, but he'll have them like explain how big their penis is and all of that. And he's because he's exploiting the fact that there are people in our society who feel the pressure of the fact that they're not getting They're not getting chosen at work.
Sounds like some incel shit.
I mean, it could go that far, but if him exploiting it would definitely contribute to that. Right. And if you don't know what an incel is, it's an involuntary celibate person. Oh, right. And in a lot of situations, incels are violent. What we're seeing is a lot of them are turning violent because they feel how they're feeling. Right. And Kevin Samuels, in my opinion, is exploiting that, especially in the Black community, because nobody gives a shit what one man thinks about your penis size. No one cares what this one man thinks about how tall you are, what your weight is. But it's interesting. Alpha male shit is arising out of the fact that men think that if they put themselves on a scale, then they can gradually get better.
Well, it's actually interesting. I feel as if a lot of these podcasts, these alpha male podcasts, and just this kind of general hyper masculinity that is trying to be perpetuated through our community. It sounds like men are trying to impress other men.
No, it's always men try to impress other men.
That's what it sounds like.
First of all, y'all go to the club to impress each other. Y'all date women to impress each other. Yeah. You drive cars to impress each other. You wear clothes to impress each other. It has nothing to do with us. But then you get mad at us when we don't want to be around your extra ass attention.
So almost as if we're using it as a prop?
Perfect word. I like that word. I use this word often. I can't stand to be a prop. I can't stand that. I don't want to be someone on your arm. I have a brain. I have a body. I have a soul. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and you can be a person on my arm.
Type shit. On the cool. Like, why not it be, like I said, a symbiotic relationship. When I say symbiotic relationship, y'all, I mean it's y'all complement one another. You want a woman, not a woman. You want a partner that can complement you. And in ways that is not possessive. I always go back to this, that's not possessive. You want to complement one another's weaknesses and strengths. And you can't do that if you feel as if you have these expectations that are patriarchal, that are misogynistic, and then try to project that on your partner. If it's a woman, specifically when we're talking about Black women, you can't do that. That's not going to work. And it depends. That's why you had to have that conversation. And I think that
there's something wrong with you if that's what you want from a person. I'm gonna be honest. I think that if you want a person to serve you, then something is wrong with you.
That's kind of the normal culture, though.
No, that's a slave.
That is it's a what?
It's a slave.
It's a slave.
You want a slave.
And now I understand when you said that.
You want women to be property.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
You want women to be property.
You want us to have your kids, to shut the fuck up, to be cute, to show up, to be everything that you need us to be, to
That's
support you.
God
exactly.
Damn.
I told you that earlier. Black men want to be white men, and Black men and white men treat Black women like property in most instances.
Damn.
We raised white kids. We raised Black kids.
Straight up.
And I'm not disputing in any way, shape, or form the trauma that Black men have gone through. I'm just saying you didn't go through it by yourself.
No, because whenever Black men were being targeted down by the government, guess who was left behind? Guess who was left to raise our kids? Guess who was left to be leaders? Guess who were the ones? Listen, and that's the biggest thing that I love to see in terms of basically from the 90s on, bro. Like, Black women are the fastest growing educated group within the United States out of any
But you know what? We can't
male
get ahead
and female.
Because we still taking care of y'all's asses. That's why. We taking care of y'all's kids. We taking care of y'all's mamas. We taking care of y'all's asses in jail. We taking care of y'all's asses. So it's really hard to get ahead while we out here also raising kids, starting businesses, going to school. It's really difficult to get ahead with y'all sorry asses.
What do Black men in particular, not men in general, but Black men need to do to be able to open up this conversation about misogynoir and misogyny in general?
They need to look at their mamas. I don't care if you had the shittiest mama in the world. I don't care. Do you know how hard it is to be a Black woman? Do you know how hard it is to be a Black woman? You don't even understand how hard it is to have a baby, much less to raise a baby, much less to raise a person, and then to worry about that person every single day, every single time they walk out the house, because you know that it's your job to protect that Black man.
Right.
It's your job to protect his Black daddy. It's your job to protect every Black man that you might encounter. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight. And I don't even just mean against bullets. I mean against high blood pressure because y'all don't want to eat right. I mean against, you don't even understand the stress that goes into being a Black woman who is responsible for a Black man.
Right.
Like, and then I hear Black women who are, and I hate this for us, but I get it. But Black women who are like, why won't a Black man love me? Why do they only want white women? Why do they only want Mexican women? They want all these lighthearted women. Like, I get it because I understand this ideology that you will do anything for them and they don't want you. And it's not that they don't want you. It's just that you're attracted to people who don't want you and you need to work on yourself. But whatever, we can get into that later.
Right.
But I also understand the desperation when you would, with or without them being yours, you would sacrifice everything to save their life, and they can't even show up for you when somebody is verbally abusing you, when you're being attacked, when you're being overlooked, when you deserve credit for something, when you stayed up all night, did homework with your kids, finished doing homework with your kids, cooked them dinner, got their clothes ready, then did your homework, then finished your work from your side hustle, then got ready for your real hustle, got 3 hours of sleep, woke them up for school, did it again, and you don't get any credit for that. And then they grow up and they're like, fuck Black women. Like I get why they be so mad.
Well, I just, man, just to kind of wrap this up, like I challenge black men to see black women as partners and equals. Like I challenge you to not look at them as someone that needs to be subservient to you. And again,
I challenge you to be accountable. I challenge you to show up for yourself and to take responsibility for the space and energy that you take up in black women's life.
Well, accountability comes with that. To be able to be able to partner with somebody and be a true partnership is you have to be accountable. There is expectations that comes with that relationship. And again, I'll say this, like every relationship is different. You know what I mean? Like if a woman wants to be subservient or if a man wants to be subservient to the woman, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But there has to be a level of respect that we're not, in my own opinion, we're not seeing specifically with this alpha male high value bullshit.
We're gonna have to talk about mama's boys and Misogynoir.
I'm a mama's boy.
And how that plays there. Nah, but there's some more extreme mama's boys.
Right. I'm not. It's not like you're a part toxic. Of my character.
Yeah. You're not like Grace.
Right. I love Grace Hesson. I hope you watching, Mom. I appreciate you.
Yeah, this is a good episode. But that's it for us today. Y'all don't forget to like, comment,
my dad too, Ralph Hesson. Hell yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop them comments down below. Yes. I'm sorry if I went hard on you, black men. Black men, we love you for real.
She's been wanting to talk about this shit for the past 2 days.
Yeah, we was gonna lay it on thick, but that's real. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Let us know if you have any experiences with this, and
yeah, man. We'll catch y'all later. This is O'Neal.
This is Brooklyn.
We'll catch y'all next week. Oh, not next week. 2 weeks from now. The fuck? We got shit to do. We going to South by Southwest. Oh, check this out.
Shout out to Cheese.
Yeah.